The other option, straight ka alien.
You got one of those showers, stick on.
It's a bidet.
BODGAST. BODGAST.
What's up, vibers? Welcome to episode 7 of the BODGAST, a special one this week as we come at you during Samoan Language Week 2023. Joining me in studios, the doctor himself, Formai Fresh, are two Samoan boys who you might remember last year from Fia'i. This year, the doctor has got them in studios on the BODGAST. They are Mr. Apera Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Talofa lava. And my man, Mr. Frankie Tasi. Talofa lava, Frank.
Talofa.
Boys, usos. How are the boys? Hey?
Really good, thank you, man. It's already been a year, eh?
A year. I still remember Fia'i. You did the
Suafa'i.
that's right, Suafa'i, and also you did the sliced up the
Whare mo.
yeah, that's the one.
Remember when you guys didn't want to eat my suafa'i? Yeah, no, it was really good, but
hey,
mo king is better. Hey, all I remember that day is going home and thinking, I just want to be a real Samoan.
oh, but that's a year ago. That only felt like last month.
It's crazy. Eh?
But boys, here we are again.
Yep.
The first question for both of you on the BODGAST, Samoan Language Week 2023. What is the theme, boys? Oh, he's got to put that in there. Oh, love it. So you don't know then?
Nah, the theme's whatever you want it to be.
Hey, what type of Samoans are you, man? You don't even know the theme for Samoan Language Week.
Did I say that I was only half Samoan?
What's your other half?
Rotuman, but we didn't celebrate that.
Oh, anyway, the theme for Samoan Language Week 2023, it will be in the caption description below.
Mita. I know that, like, honestly, I just know it's your
Be proud of your cultural identity or something, eh?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just leave that out, eh, boys?
Please.
And we'll leave it out.
Should we just Google it now?
Yeah, actually.
So shit. All right, Usos, first question of the BODGAST. Samoan Language Week 2023, the theme, Usos.
Mita e lau ngangana, ma waa lau whaasino manga.
And that means in English?
Be proud of your language and grounded in your identity.
All right, man, let's talk about that, eh? Language identity. You know, the podcast is all about getting deep, getting emotional,
Nice.
getting that feel, you know? Like when you feel a, perfect colour from the supermarket, you pick it up and it's just, and you just know it's,
Right.
oh, I tell you. Anyway, ready. Hey, I love it. Let's start with introductions, boys. Let's go with Apera first. Introductions.
Talofa lava, everyone. My name is Apera Brown. I come from the village of Fastotai in Samoa. I'm half Samoan and my other half is Cook Island. Come from the islands of Rakahanga and Rarotonga. So
Me, my man. Mr. Tasty Brown.
He is tasty, ain't
Hey,
he?
I like that, Mr. Tasty Brown. I like that.
Yeah, so Frank Tasi. I was just waiting if you want me to go now or
Let's get tomorrow.
is the shop ball here? Yeah, so Talofa Frank Tasi, and I hail from the villages. Well, mum's from Vainganga, and dad is from Letongo in Apera. So we're it's considered city folk, you know. And,
There is a difference too between city folk and back blocks folk,
the Wabacks.
Hey, Right back. Hey, way back. Now, awesome, boys. Good to have you here. And I just want to acknowledge the sponsors of our podcast today, episode 7. Ponsonby Pies, one of my favourites, mince and cheese. They are available at Mobile Tokoroa. Ponsonby Pies, 2 for $5. Get along and support the brand. So, boys, there's one for you, mince and cheese.
I love it.
One for you.
I've never had a pie
sauce.
before.
So you have to eat it while we're having a talk.
Did this come from Ponsonby?
They are actually made at Ponsonby, in Ponsonby. That's why they're called Ponsonby Pies. So big ups to the crew for their sponsorship. Episode 7 of the podcast.
Made in Istamaki. Oh.
Hey, and I want you guys to tell me, bite into it and tell me what you think.
Now,
hey,
can I
need
just ask
directions.
Are these, like, is Ponsonby a part of Sanitarium?
Hey, could be.
Just ask me.
Yeah. Because Sanitarium's owned by Fiku anyway.
Yeah.
Ponsonby Pies, maybe, but I like them. I want your take on it, you know?
Can I just say straight off the bat, the pastry, it's very nice. Good short crust there. Buoyance.
Mr. Brown, Tasty Brown's getting a good, go at that. A good balance of cheese, boys. See, you always know when a pie tastes good, Ainga, is when your guests on the podcast just get into it, You might be wondering, why isn't Format Fresh having a pie? I've only had one pie in the last 65 days, so we'll try and go another 10 days before I grab a pie for myself. But that looks divine, boys. See, look at that. That just looks good, eh?
It's
good,
really
man.
impressive about this pie is you actually get to the cheese within the second bite, which is something that I really look forward to, Anything
Love
more
it.
than, 2 bites, rubbish.
Yep,
So,
I agree totally.
very good.
Oos, Mr. Brown. See? Beautiful, beautiful. And I must say, hey, looks good, man. Looks good. The boys, Ponsonby Pies, sponsors today. Don't forget to grab yourself one, 2 for $5 at Mobile. All right, boys, while you're chomping along on your pies, you both work at Forest View High School. You guys have been there for a while. All right. And I must say, being a teacher, it's got to be hard these days. Definitely got to be hard. I mean, I work with young people. I'm not a teacher, but I work with youth. And I find, plenty of challenging moments. Can you guys describe some of the challenging moments you guys have as teachers? Beautiful. Look at that timing. Hey?
Time to say again, is there another pie that we can sponsor again? Or?
They're good though. See, I chose the right pie.
Wow.
On.
Wow.
That was on. See? Don't get this. I reckon the mince and cheese is good, man. It's good.
So good.
Beautiful. So let's get back to challenges. Facing challenges as teachers. Boys, let me hear from both of you.
Probably one for me is going in as a Pacific Islander, and our upbringing, we just get told once, and you do it because then you're gonna get a hiding if you don't listen.
Get the bash.
Yeah. So for me, when I started teaching, it was hard because you expect the students to do follow the instructions the first time, but you just have to learn. If you get overworked on that, then you're just going to ruin your whole day and you won't enjoy the job. So just got to learn how to find new coping mechanisms, how to deal with the behaviour and the students.
Very, very professional answer. Beautiful,
Definitely
Mr. Brown.
agree with that, Beautiful.
Mr. Tasi?
I think one thing for me, this is my 11th year of teaching, and I can, truthfully say that progressively it's just gotten a lot harder to be just a teacher. It's probably, there's probably a perception that teaching is just, 9 to 3, and then you get 12 weeks holiday, and it's really difficult to help people understand that teaching is just so much more than standing in front of a class or, walking around teaching. You're actually a guidance counselor, you're Dr. Phil, Oprah Winfrey, you're solving all of these, thousands and thousands of different issues along with behavior management. You've got, certain tasks or targets to attain, for your kids' learning and stuff. So that's probably one of the harder things for me looking at education, is it's gone more towards, the challenges are there's a lot more expectations for you to have your kids, achieving at a certain rate, doing it this way. But then also you've got complications of larger class sizes, a lot more paperwork. So, there's heaps of things that we have to do that don't just happen between the hours of 9 and 3. And that's probably a perception people don't really get to see as teachers.
All right, quick fire question. As Samoan members in our community, and I suppose a lot of people look up to you too, quick fire question, yes or no, would you give advice to young people and say, be awesome to have you become a teacher, or would you not?
Yes.
Wow, didn't expect that. Didn't expect that. No? That took me by surprise, because I see the challenges you guys face every day, and I see the challenges that I face in my role. And I say to people, working with young people is not easy. It's quite a hard job, And like you say, it's not a 9 to 3 job. Especially my job, you're still working when you're home, when you're over the weekend. Someone rings you, someone messages you, you can't just ignore them. You feel like you're in it 24/7. The old saying, though, you're not paid though 24/7. Comes back to passion. How you feel about working with young people and our kids? But you guys are doing an amazing job.
Yeah, there's always instances where, you're lying down or you're playing with your own kids, and then you have a little, they do something and it makes you think about, oh man, this one kid at school, how do I get his attention, her attention? How do I, get them more engaged in the work? So, it's you're definitely right. It's not one of those 9 to 3.
Love it.
It's pretty encompassing, but
awesome.
Definitely encourage people, like especially our Pacific Islanders, to get into it. Samoans, in the community, to become teachers, because, well, I know definitely I didn't have many role models that were, Pacific Islanders growing up at school, and so it's wonderful to, hopefully we have more, people would try and be those kind of role models for our community.
Is it a disadvantage to be a Samoan teacher, Apera?
Disadvantage? Nah, I don't think so. I think being Samoan or being Pacific Island, it's a bigger advantage, because we just naturally have those people skills. We can relate, and I suppose in our upbringing, in our island way upbringing, we're in church, whichever church it is. We do service a lot of community things that we do, and that helps build us as how we can work and how we can relate with others. So I reckon it's an advantage, because a lot of others they find it hard to relate, especially to PI and Māori kids, and I suppose that's something that we have as Samoans.
Hobbies. What do you enjoy doing in your spare time?
When I get the chance, I like getting out on the sea fishing. Otherwise, gardening. A bit of a old school guy. Gardening or just chilling with my girls. I also play in a band, so whenever we're gigging, I'm travelling up and down the country wherever we're playing here. So a bit of music, fishing, gardening, chilling with the family. That's me.
Man, that's a pretty full-on life there, Mr. Brown. Fitting it all in, Must be on the go all the time, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Haven't had a weekend home for about 5 weeks now. So this weekend's going to be my first weekend home. So
you're also doing some stuff in Auckland too, aren't you?
Yeah, so I'm studying towards my postgrad in secondary teaching. And that's up in Auckland. So we have wānangas all the time.
Well, kid, you enjoying that, also?
Yeah, it's awesome. I should have just studied when I left school, but just wanted to be young, free, and do whatever I want. And but it's okay.
I noticed Mr. Tasi or Mr. Brown left out the single bit. Yeah. Yeah. It's supposed to go young, free, and single, isn't it? But he was like young, free,
and mingle.
Hey, I love it how as Samoans we just sort of change it around a little bit. Change it around to suit our lifestyle, huh?
Because it was like sharp on my ear when I didn't hear the single.
Boy, I mustn't have heard that song. Hey, you haven't heard that song? No. Hey, no, I like it. Hey, I got to ask you, you got any more gallo leaves in your garden, or they all died now because of the frost?
They're all gone. They're all gone.
Yeah, I know. Just trying to find it because it's Samoan language. We can't. Just trying to, What about you, Mr. Tasi?
Hobbies. Oh man, honestly, I love the gym. Obviously, you know, I love lifting. That's probably my biggest hobby at the moment. Love gaming too. So you know,
Lifting, gaming.
gaming. Yeah.
I just got to ask you, you know, with the amount of gymming that you do, you know, do you ever lie back in bed at night, you know, just lying there with the sheet off because it's warmer, the sheet off and just looking up and down again? But, oh, man, you're such a specimen. Do you think like that?
The question should be, when don't I think?
Love it. That's another thing that we have as Samoans, eh? Very confident people,
Yeah.
And, you know, as long as that person looking back at you, you know, is accountable, hey,
Hey,
nothing wrong with
That's
that
right.
confidence.
you gotta love yourself.
Hey, if you can't love yourself, how can you love others?
How can you expect anyone else to?
I think
What's-
we have a lot of love that we like to share, eh?
A lot of love.
Love.
Alofa.
Hey. Hey.
I don't know about that kind of alofa. That was taking
Oh, I love it. Hey, I just got to ask you, you know, because when I look at all our calves, out of the three of us, you've got the biggest calves. And I sort of, you know, it's not too often I envy other people who have bigger calves than mine, but yours are substantially larger than mine. You know, I like to put that down to because you're a lot younger than me. However, I want to ask you, Mr. Tasi, what is the secret to having very muscly, large, defined calves?
Yeah, no, I get asked this question a lot, you know, and to be honest, there's no real secret. The secret is, you know, have 160 kilos worth of weight to carry around every day. And then eventually your legs is going to be massive as, you know. Honestly, I swear to you, I don't train calves. It's just, yeah, like I said, it's probably because my poor legs have to carry around this whole body everywhere. And
That fine specimen.
that, wow,
Love it.
that beast. Oh,
Hey,
man.
hey, quite yawn. I like the way you do that. Just do that again.
Nah, I don't, because hey, remember I'm married. We don't want people falling in love with
Tell
it.
you, bro, that's. Oh, bro, tell you.
So
Hey,
that's the line, Roy.
that's my quite dangerous. That.
Yeah,
Hey.
I don't leave it. You know, I don't use it anymore. I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know,
But obviously you
taking
don't.
that
You,
and put it in the. You know, retired my jersey.
you don't sort of use that in your own QT time with your wife. Yeah, turn the sounds up a little bit. And what is it again?
QT time. Yeah, I can't,
QT time.
I can't share those kinds of secrets.
Hey.
Yeah, no,
Is there a little bit more definition to the lips though when it's QT time? You know, like,
it's in the eyes. You gotta look at. Hey, stop it!
What's a music playing in the background?
Yeah, because I just taught this guy one. I gave him the secret.
hey, give it.
No, it's just a musical artist called Maxwell.
Whoa, you're a Maxwell boy, huh? Little
See?
something, huh?
See?
Little something. Tell you.
Hey, I just taught him. So now you
It's
know,
all in the sound, huh? It's all in the, you know, it's all in the sound wave, huh?
it's the sound waves.
Love it. Man, you
the
guys.
vibrations.
From the music?
From the music.
Hey.
You know, don't take it there.
It's from the subwoofer, huh? From the subwoofer.
Ba-dum.
Oh, I tell you, what, you guys sound like, man,
There we
you
go, there we go.
have, you know, yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh.
That's when you're talking about, you know, when you're like, you lie there, there's just, you know, you just put your hand through the chest hairs. Like, damn.
Chili, I gotta ask you. Now you've put me there.
Yeah.
You know, do you get out your Johnson & Johnson baby oil and sort of squeeze it out?
Oh. Nah, because baby oil is really hard to clean up after. It's got
So he's tried it before. He's
plenty
tried
of
it.
times. Because, you know, when you want to be a bodybuilder and you're like, man, I want my body to be shining like that. It's really hard to, you know. Yeah.
Bro, I remember here's a baby oil story. The Samoan boys, when we were back at high school, man, we used to put baby oil on our face, shine on our arms. We used to go to school back in, you know, 5th, 6th form. Well, it only lasted sort of 2 months in 6th form, but Definitely fifth for me. Definitely fifth. But that was sort of the in thing, Johnson & Johnson, baby.
Yeah.
Get that shine going. Used to give you that, not going to say fake tan, but it just, highlighted the, the
like
tan in your skin.
light bounces, different angles on. Wow.
Tell you. Man, I've got to say,
secret.
hey, it is. Got to say that, man, hey, your wife, man, very lucky. But I know Apera's wife's, partner, hey, fiance is lucky too, huh? Yeah. So what are some of your movements there, Mr. Brown, when you're doing your QT, just for the viewers of the podcast?
Oh, it's pretty similar to what Mr. Tasi's doing.
Is it true though? I heard a little rumor about you there, Mr. Tasty Brown. Is it true that I understand you're into like a bit of chocolate sauce? Any truth to that rumor? Are
you alright?
Have you used that?
Chocolate sauce? How do you...
Did you check on the chocolate sauce?
Wait, I just got to zoom in on this one. Has anyone got pepper and pen? I can take some notes, please.
Just have to disappoint you on that one. And not too sure about that chocolate sauce.
All right.
But I do like it on a Sunday from McDonald's.
Hey, yeah, why not? Hey, I like it, man. Both your guys, wives, partners, fiancés, man, lucky woman, Lucky woman.
Nah, we're the lucky
We're
ones.
the lucky ones,
We're
yeah.
Very used to, Yeah, I love it, man.
We're the
See,
lucky ones. Hey.
beautiful Samoan, man. Just know what to say for the camera. Can you turn the camera off? Oh, all right, boys. Let's talk about being Samoan. Because it is Samoan Language Week, and that's the reason why I pulled you fellas in. But, you guys are famous people too, well-known people in our community. What's it like being Samoan? I'll start off with you, Mr. Brown. What's it like being Samoan?
I wasn't brought up in the Samoan in our language, in our culture. My father was pretty strict on us. He spoke Samoan to us at home. And the Samoan that we learnt was mostly from going to Sunday school. So we were brought up in the whakasa with our dad. But because I spent a majority of my life being brought up with my grandparents on my Cook Island side, so, kind of have that identity crisis, when you're going to a Samoan function and everyone's talking and you're just standing there having a look around, trying to figure out what's happening. But I suppose, I'm Samoan in other ways because I love to cook, and that's what my father's taught me, how to cook all the Samoan dishes. Playing music, playing rugby. That was one thing my dad was, adamant that we had to do. There was school, and then there was rugby. You had to go to school and you had to play rugby. So my dad was, he's really hard on us, me and my brothers. More harder on my younger brothers because they were, they're just the jokers. But I've learned to just embrace what I know, and I'm always proud to be Samoan, always represent when I have to, which is all the time.
Yo.
And just support also here at school with everything we do with our Samoan language and culture.
Hard. Urs, what about for you? What's it like being Samoan?
Man, honestly, I love it. It's a real privilege and a blessing to be able to say I'm Samoan. I shared it in the video that we did for this week, and it's for me, like same thing. We grew up in a very proud Samoan family, but we schooled, and Mum was very keen for us to make sure that we spoke English well, and that we needed to succeed at school. So didn't really learn the language, just knew enough. I understood it, but Mum never really forced us to speak it. We'd respond to her in English and stuff, and just knew the swear words, and I'm hungry, all of the main ones. And then it wasn't really until my mission where I learned the language, I learned how to speak it, could speak it quite well, but since being home I've kind of regressed a little bit with my Samoan, and that's probably my fault. Probably need to reach out a little bit more and speak a bit more, but overall love being Samoan. I love having that culture run through me and be, I'm proud of it, man. Proud that my kids are Samoan too, carry on that legacy.
I want to ask you something about that, because, and this is, I'm not having a go at our people or any of our elders. But sometimes, people say, oh, you're not a real Samoan because you can't speak Samoan, or you're not a real Samoan, you're a plastic Samoan, or you're not a real Samoan because, you do this, you do this, you do that. But what I want to say to that is I was brought up diehard Samoan, but because my dad was Aitutakian, we spoke English in our home. So Samoan was never spoken at home. Our grandmother would speak Samoan to us, and at times I remember she'd always speak English to us because she knew we couldn't understand, right? But we did our best to learn words along the way. No other grandkid could speak or was allowed to speak English to my grandmother. They all had to speak Samoan because both parents are Samoan, so there was no excuse not to. But, over the years, there has been that chatter of if you can't speak it, if you don't know this, if you don't know that, you're actually not Samoan. But obviously I push back at that quite strongly, know, and, for me, being Samoan is from the inside out. It doesn't matter how many titles you want to have, how many tattoos you want to put on you to make yourself Samoan. None of that really matters to me. As long as you're Samoan from the inside out, that's it for me. And some people in our community I bump into and we talk about it, they go, oh man, I'm just a plastic Samoan, because people say I'm not a real. I say, who cares what people say? If you believe you're Samoan, you're proud to be Samoan, that's all that matters. Yeah. Who really cares what anyone else says? And I suppose to some people watching this podcast this week, because it is Samoan Language Week, they'll probably disagree with me, but who gives a flying what they think? I just want to say, Samoans from the inside out, and I don't care what village you're from, how many titles you think you hold. I think that's a disappointing thing in our culture at times, is a lot of people are judged on their understanding, how much they know. Can you Samoan siva? Can you do this? Or do you know how to make that? Bro, if I was to judge you on your English, then that's another story. But yeah, I just wanted to say that while we're here, because we're sort of all in the same boat where we're all born in New Zealand, right? We're all born here. We're grown up here. And, like Frank's had his journey, Apera, you've had yours. I've had mine, and they're all relatively different to a degree, but we're very similar, the three of us. Yeah. We're not the guys who will rock up to a party and all speak fluent Samoan. I'll understand what everyone's saying to me because I understand, I've learnt. But I'm always, I can speak it to a degree, little bits and pieces to save me here and there. But to have a full-blown conversation with somebody, that's hard for me. Yeah. And some parkies you go to, everyone speak it, you reply in English, they talk back in Samoan, it's like, haven't you clicked now? Have you not clicked? Do I got to text you? I'll text you. But I don't mind that, but it's the fact, you speak to me in Samoan, I reply to you in English. You speak to me, I reply to you, have you not, have you not got it yet? Hopefully over the years, moving forward, that mentality changes, because being Samoan's a range of different things.
Yeah. I think it slowly is changing. In my I've had numerous encounters with Samoans where they've spoken to me Samoan, I've spoken back, and then they can tell that my Samoan is not the greatest. And they're really encouraging. Even I find it more with our older generation of Samoans that I've had encounters with are more encouraging. It's kind of like the younger ones, that are a little bit like, oh,
look down.
Yeah, they're like, what did you just say? Are you really that plastic? But it's for me, I think it's the mentality is slowly changing. It's just I hope it changes more.
Nah, me too. Urs, you have anything to say on that?
Nah, not really. Just the same. Feel the same as you guys. I have that same thing. I don't know anything about, and I always tell everyone, I don't know anything about the culture or language. But if you want me to do a job, for example, like there's Samoan Language Week Tokoro Committee, I said to Vanessa, I said, I don't know anything about the culture or the language, but you want me to do a job, I'll come and do it, because I have to come and help out for my people and for our language week. So I just say to them, I can help in other ways, like the market, cooking food.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Being Samoan means a whole stack load of different things. So just wanted to bring that up. Boys, if you were the Prime Minister of Samoa, and when I say Samoa, I mean Samoans across the world, I'm thinking hypothetically here.
Yeah.
what would you change to make things better for our people, not only in Samoa but across the big wide world of ours, if you were in that position? Big question.
You go first, so then I can agree with you.
I don't know. This sounds like a question you've thought about. Is it what?
Everything in this podcast I just make up as I go along. That's what us Samoans are good at.
Yeah,
eh?
yeah.
On the spot.
Yep.
Eh?
Yeah.
We just say it how it is. We just, none of this is planned, boys. You can see I've got no phone, everything's just off the cuff.
It's beautiful, but this pie is just beautiful. Sorry to get back to the pie, but man,
Yeah. Eh?
in answer to your question, though, man, I don't know. Like, because it's Samoans, man, we're international already, It's like, I don't know what I would change. I know this kind of going off a little bit, off of the topic a little bit, but we were in a apartment complex, and my neighbor, Samoan, I knew he was Samoan, so, say hi to him and stuff, and got to know him. And then he, his last name, he said it to me, and I was like, man, that's Middle Eastern, your last name. He goes, yeah, it is. And I said, oh, are you half? And he goes, yeah, I'm half Samoan, half Iraqi. I was like, how did the Samoans get to Iraq? I was like,
Does they get captured or something?
I was like, are you serious? He goes, yeah. I was like, we're super international, and it looks like we're already, going across, borders and boundaries. I don't know if there's anything you could change to help our people be better. We're already topping, things,
Hard.
achieving more than what our small little island should.
Fair enough comment.
Yeah.
Mr. Brown?
Just trying to think. Well, I can't think of anything. Maybe build a proper prison. Keep the people inside. I don't know.
I like that. Hey,
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Prison, I just asked that sort of off the cuff, but I'd probably want to change things like, immigration. If I'm to look at certain things, immigrations allow Samoans to come back and forth from New Zealand to Samoa, because I'm not too sure why it's so difficult for our people to get permanent residency here in New Zealand. It's really sad, considering how many All Blacks are Samoan. Samoan, they use us when they need us.
That's
They put
right.
us in the All
That's
Blacks.
right.
They call us amazing. Michael Jones, one of the best open South Africa. But hey, he's Samoan, man. You're still, and I suppose it's similar for the Tongans, but we're talking about Samoan. So I'd probably do something like that, to get that moving back and forth. I'd probably get rid of China out of Samoa, because one day we're going to be run and owned by the Chinese. We need and I think that's happening at the moment with the new Prime Minister there. And I'd probably, put a little bit more money into the economy in Samoa, because poverty's a real thing over there, It's, literally is a real thing. If you watch My Three Cousins, that's what they do. Make the koko, cook it up, melt it, put it in, take it to the market and sell it, get some food, come back and feed their macaws, that's normal.
That's right.
And I know people say, even though that, My Three Cousins is 10 years old, I think, or something like that. Yeah. But people still say, does that actually happen in Samoa? I say, yeah, man, that's how it rolls.
Life.
Don't be fooled by anything.
I'm happy you brought that up, because I use that movie in my Samoan classes to show the differences of life in New Zealand versus...
It is. And that movie is so on, that is such a true description on how our people came to this country. They came here, they worked jobs that no one else wanted to work. Cleaners, and all those sorts of, the 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning ones, worked till 6, 7 o'clock at night. And he was an example of how the New Zealand born ones were, which is probably where this perception comes from. But not all New Zealand born kids were like that. But eventually in the movie, he got it. He clicked, Your parents are doing this for you, man, They're teaching you how to, be able to. Definitely. And once he got it, and it's a bit like all of us. Once we get it, we get it. But that's a great movie on how our people transition from Samoa here into New Zealand. So, there's a few things I might change, Samoans get paid double if they're chosen for the All Blacks, and the Kiwis and stuff like that, Because I feel like at times, you know, we're just forgotten about, you know, like it's only when we're winning or, you know, we need this person here, we need this person there. And it takes me back to school. I remember when I was young, going to primary school, David Henry, I remember there were 2 Samoans at school that recognised as Samoans back then. And it was me and another uso called Jay Cowley. Now, I'm not too sure where he is these days, but we were the only 2 Samoans recognised who'd walk around staunch as Samoans. And we'd always have heaps of fussels with the Maoris, you know? Just 2 Samoan boys having fussels with all the Maoris. And without a word of a lie, we used to get hiding every day, man, you know, because just the Maoris, there was just more of them, you know, like, but we were just beating our chests as Samoan. And I remember my grandfather, and bless his soul, you know, I love my grandfather, but man, without a word of a lie, go home with a little bruise on the eye. Shh, you know, who gave you that? Who gave you? You go to his house, you knock on his door, and you. So I felt like I spent most of my primary school days going around to my oldie boys' houses, knocking on their door, and they're getting another hiding now. Because that's just how we were brought up. You didn't come back until, you know. And I tell you, there could be some real funny stories I could tell you on how I ended up winning. But hey, it doesn't matter. I won, though. I won. But I must say that forged some real cool relationships with all those boys. Like all those boys I went to David Henry with, all those boys I fussled with, man, we're tight. We're all mates. But that's the world we lived in back then, you know, if we wanted to be Samoan. I mean, you know, another story, I remember when Mara and I first hooked up, I found out a few things about a few people that were close to her, where she said, oh, yeah, that person's Samoan. No. No. Yes. I'm like, come on, you know. At school, he was not Samoan. No, he's Samoan. I found that out. So even through school, there were people struggling to whether it's accept, because back then we were a minority. Like I remember at high school, the Samoans, there were like 8 of us. You know, 8 of us. There were, you know, there was BHS back then. Some people watching this will remember that. Bananas Have Style. That was the Cook Islanders, BHS. And then there was the Maoris, They had their big crew. And there was us Samoan boys. It was about 8 of us. I can just remember off memory, you know, Sonny Stowers, Charlie Tanavasa, Ben Torofua, Mane Lotoa, just, you know, there's about 7 or 8 of us. That was our little clique. And we'd walk around proud as Samoans, but we were the smallest. Oh, and Tino Tua, who was Samoan, sorry, bro. Even though he's not Samoan, but he hung out with the Samoans. Because me and him boys, so he was the only, you know, honorary Samoan that was with the boys. So it was always those 3 groups. And, you know, whether it was Bull Rush, League, whatever, man, it was bang, bang, bang back in those days. When we had a fussel, man, it was all in. But the Samoan group was always the smallest. And it was amazing after high school, you know, when I found out, hey, Jerry was Samoan, hey, Sean was Samoan. What happened, man? You were Palangi at school, man. You know, like, so it was really interesting growing up in those times. But I suppose when it really, you know, when Michael Jones was in the All Blacks, Joe Stanley, you know, everyone, all these All Blacks that, you know, Christian Cullen, that was sort of the big one back in the 90s, when Christian Cullen, everyone found out Christian Cullen was Samoan, or everyone was Samoan, I'm Samoan. Christian Cullen Samoan? No, but, you know, he was his grandmother Samoan. Once he came out as Samoan, everybody wanted to be Samoan. And then it just got, you know, all these All Blacks were just Samoan. So, it's quite interesting, over the time how it's gone. Now everyone, and we speak about this all the time, boys, our kids are rainbow kids. They've just got heaps of different flavours in them, you know, like working for Raukawa Vibes, who I love, you know. We can't concentrate just purely on Māori kids because that doesn't exist anymore, you know. Our kids have got a bit of everything, you know, Māori, Pacifica, European. So we have to create programs and create things that suit all our kids. We can't do just for Samoan kids, just for Tongan kids, just for Māori kids, just for... You've got to integrate the whole lot because, you know, if I'm to ask you, your kids have probably got heaps of nationalities in your children, right, boys?
Yeah.
So that's just the way the world is these days, you know, and at the end of the day, our kids are just rainbow children, beautiful children, and it's going to get more and more as you know, time goes on, you know, those days are long gone. So speaking from a cultural point of view, it's important that we make sure we install that in our children, in our aingas moving forward, you know. So, I tell you, plenty to go on about being Samoan, you know. Boys, let me ask you about food. Samoan food, boys. What's your favourite Samoan dish? Like your absolute, even if we can't make it, what?
Luau.
Luau? Is that just pure luau?
Just pure luau. Just luau with good, fashkalu. Oh, man. Every day of the week I could.
Bro, and just the luau you make in Samoa is just so different from the...
Man, but I tell you what, there's this, I don't know if it's still open, there was a shop just up the road opposite the police station.
Yeah, on the corner.
Yeah, on the
The
corner.
roundabout, yeah.
And they had, not a word of a lie, man, they had balusami in a can. And I bought it. It's like $6. And I thought, oh, man, this is probably going to be yuck, Opened it up, microwaved it. I swear to you, it was like, it's legit, man.
Oi.
It's legit. I don't know if he's still open, but...
What happened to the shop? Is it gone?
I think the shop's closed, but they sell them at Kelso, I'm sure.
Oh,
Just
really?
Yeah.
Balusami in a can?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's a green can, eh? It's a green and yellow can.
I don't know.
No, pink, nah.
What kind of can are you? What section of the shop are you in there also? Nah, that one was white and green.
White and green. But, you're right with luau. Like, every time someone goes to Samoa, can you bring back a umu, please?
Yeah, man. Has to.
It just tastes... There's nothing like watching it be made, pick the coconut, cricket, then just sing it all down and then put it in your mouth and it's just,
Oh, man.
Oi.
In the mouth.
In the mouth, It's just dripping down the side of it.
Yeah, nah, man, honestly, this...
Dipping the whasakalo up, bro.
You can't beat it, man. Luau is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
On.
Man.
On. Mr. Brown, what's your favourite Samoan dish?
Shucks, I have to go with luau. I was trying to think, because my father would cook us everything when we were kids. He's one of those never waste anything. And I remember one time me and Gay were just, together. We were still new, and we were in Melbourne, and she said, "Oh, what's that in the trolley?" And I said, I just laughed and I said, "Don't ask." But my dad's going to cook it for tea. And she said, "What's it in the trolley?" And I grabbed it and I hit it on her face. She goes, "What is it?" It was ox tongue.
Oi.
I said to her,
They're pretty big too, eh? They're pretty big.
I said to her, my dad will cook anything, and when he cooks, you just shut up and eat. You don't complain, nothing. Even like whakumoa.
Oh, yes.
Whatever. Yeah, so, but I have to go with luau. Back to your question, luau and a good piece of either kalo or green banana.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I like that too.
Man, I
I like
can't
that
do
too.
green bananas, eh?
Can't you?
Nah.
Bro, I love green
I had a
bananas.
bad
man.
experience with green bananas
Did you?
growing up. Yeah, I don't know what it was, but man, it was just...
Was it a peeled one or?
No.
I was making sure.
It was peeled.
When you say bad experience, I'm like, oi, gotta ask. What are you doing with it?
It
Gotta
was
ask.
like, it was, I don't know, it might have been off or, I
Green
just...
banana off. I've never heard that one before, but
Nah, when
Yeah.
you like cook it and then in the coconut cream and it's been there for ages and then you eat it and it's like
okay.
it's like bubbly almost. Have you had that feeling?
No, it never lasts that long in our house.
Oh, yeah.
It's like first in, first served.
No,
Oh,
taste is like, man, yes, I've hated green bananas ever since then.
have you?
Yeah, but man, honestly, cocoa, just a nice cocoa
Bro.
with luau.
Do you know what I remember growing up? My grandmother, like, Masafiku, obviously, brought up SDA, so we don't eat pork. Hey, I just like crispy pork belly. Or streaky bacon. That's pork? No, it's not pork. It's not pork. Anyway, when we grew up, I couldn't cook pork to save myself, to be honest, boys. So I remember my grandmother, basically, true Samoan styles, you could eat every single piece of the pig. You'll know this, your dad, with your dad, ox tongue, with us, the trotters are every single piece.
Yeah,
and I still
waste.
remember growing up, when we go out to grandma, I say, "You hungry?" "Oh yeah, grandma." But she made it so nice, and at times my mum would ground me, "Oh, you're eating the trotter." That's nice, man. Just the way my grandmother made it, man. It's like, you're just a kid. You're like, oh, yeah. But now I'm like, oh, did I eat that? Oh, man. But, should make just the whole pig, man. You could eat everything on the pig. And I remember one umu put down one Christmas. We're all sitting there. We pull the umu out, and there's this little foil, but it's a little bit open, and I put my finger in. And honestly, man, it's like, what is that, man? I put it on my mouth. Oh, man, I just put it into my finger in again. then my uncle started laughing. What are you fellas laughing at? So I opened it, and I opened, it's the, oh, bro, nah, yuck, man. Oh, the pig's looking at me. I'm like, oh, bro. So I was brought up around, my grandmother would use, like your dad, they cook everything.
Anything.
But that's where the best meat is, on the cheek.
Bro. That's what it was, right? But it's when I opened, and it just put me off. I never, I sort of just stuck to the streaky bacon and the pork belly.
No eyes looking at you.
Just and the crackle. But I suppose, coming back to Samoan dishes, my favourite would probably be, I like all those you mentioned, but, I love me some dessert, Samoan dessert.
Fa'ausi.
Fa'ausi, bro. Just, with the caramel. Not too sweet, not too sweet, just right. And you just eat it. And, the ones where you eat it and you look around if anyone's looking, or just put it on your plate. Big plate, you hide it, hide it. Say, you want to? No, it's just right. I'm all good all the time. You got a big plate. I just love that, I mean, they didn't used to make it very often, but fa'ausi, man, was just like, and even when we used to have kōpai, I like kōpai because that was the go-to, but the caramel, on top, same sort of sauce. Bro, but all that food, beautiful food, though.
So good,
so good.
Man,
I'd say our Samoan food is really healthy, without all the sugars and that.
Yeah.
So, I look at my dad. I remember, when I flew to Melbourne one year, that's the first time I've ever seen him have McDonald's. I've never known him to have a burger in my whole life living in Tokoroa. He'll just have kalo, tin fish, and he'll eat that until it's finished, and then green bananas, corned beef. And he just, or lamb, what do you call it, those kidneys, or the offal, whatever. And I was like, what are you eating that for? And he's like, that's what we're eating in Samoa. We don't have chops and all those things.
Yeah, hard.
It's just all that,
But it's like that older generation had an off button,
Yeah.
They can eat and then off. But it's like that one skipped a few generations, man, because there's no off button,
Hey, I must say too, while we're talking about food, I've got to give my mum's chop suey a big shout out because my mum makes the greatest chop suey.
Oh, man, and pangpopos too.
Oh, yeah, that too. But it's the garlic and the ginger, man.
Yep.
People don't realise
it is.
sapasu is all about the garlic and the ginger. It's not about the salt. If you get the garlic and the ginger balanced right with the meat, it's like you can smell it way down the road. That's my mum's chop suey. Hey,
I gotta go, boys.
gotta go get it, and it's just always on, man. It's just always on. And you always know when it's that on. Sometimes you're talking, Mum, what happened? Did you run out of something? No. But even then, that's, on, but it's just that garlic and some people want to eat their chop suey, and then, obviously, I'm part Lalokonga as well. Who put the veggies in the chop? What's going on, bro? Who spoiled the chop suey? Hey?
Trying to get the 5+ a day in there.
I tell you, just funny things. When was the last time you boys went back to Samoa?
2009.
All right.
Would have been
So
the last time.
10 years ago, more than 10 years. What about you, Mr. Brown?
Never been,
But
we're planning
bucket
on going,
list?
Yeah, in April next year.
That's the one, bro.
April next year for cousins getting married. So
Yeah, I was meant to go last year too, but
I was
can't afford it.
when I played for Tō Samoa, I was supposed to go for the parade, but I just didn't make it. I didn't get the cut. I think they only took 10 players. No, it'd be awesome to go back. So that's sort of something I want to do. A lot of people regularly go back, but when you're busy, like we are, very, very hard. But, it'd be good to go back and again reconnect with, family that are there. I think I've only got some cousins that, obviously, you got relations that, but, when I talk about immediate from the tree, there's definitely, only a small number on my grandmother's side and still probably quite a large number on my grandfather's side. But, be awesome to go back.
Love to.
I can't do heat, but it's always hot in Samoa. I always tell people that, 365 days of the year, it's 32, 33 degrees. Yeah. Why is that? Well, geography, it's near the equator, so it's near the equator, whānau, so it's pretty warm. But that's definitely on the bucket list. If there's something you could say to some young Samoans watching this podcast this week for Samoan Language Week to inspire them, do you have a message? What would that be?
Yeah, just be proud of who you are, no matter how much you know about your heritage or your language. Be proud and be proud to be a Samoan. And something I shared with my class, we're learning about migration, and we're learning about the why the Pacific Islanders were coming to New Zealand. And so, I guess when when we're not doing the right things in life, we're not honouring that sacrifice our grandparents made, for that for our new opportunities here in New Zealand. So honour those sacrifices your parents and grandparents made, and have a good life. Be proud of who you are and where you come from.
Beautiful advice. Beautiful advice.
Same thing, eh? Just doesn't matter if you're full or 1/16th, 1/32nd. If you've got Samoan blood in you, you're a Samoan. Whether you know the language or not, there's always a starting point. And just always be proud of the fact that you're a Samoan. 685 for life.
All day. Love that. And it's funny we talk about that because I can't wait till Tongan Language Week, because I'm part Tongan too, and I don't know much about. Oh, actually, I do know a little bit about my Tongan side and where I come from, my family tree. But if you ask me what village I come from, I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure. But does that make me not Tongan? Well, hang on, bro. It does because he's my family tree. Nah. Stick that up your nostril. It's probably the same thing I'm saying to Samoans. Like you guys said, be proud. Find out who you are. Ask around, ask the elders, get along and, ask auntie and uncle. I'm sure they'll help you out because someone knows where you come from. Someone knows, your roots. And, be proud of who you are and find out where you're from. Don't ever give up,
Never.
And I mean, it's funny. True story, boys. When I grew up, I was asked this question: would you play for Junior Kiwis or Samoa? Oh, Samoa all day. Like this is back then, And I still feel the same to this day, Like I'd always play for Samoa first before the All Blacks. But the only reason why it's tough because Samoa's got no money, Samoa's got no money. Money talks. So sometimes I wish I was a billionaire also. So I'd go put all my money into Pacifica Rugby, Pacifica League, and bring it up. Because I tell you, all the boys won't be playing for the All Blacks if you can pay them $1 million to play for Samoa. That's a fact.
That's where they go.
And it's all about the money. And I know people say it should be about your heritage or where you come from. Nah, it's about the money. Stop it. Everyone wants to hook up their family, look after, because that's how we're brought up. Look after mum and dad, look after your family, get your future. So that's the one. That's what it's all about. So I have no issues with players playing for money, following the money, because that's sort of what we do to a degree in everyday life. That's why we upskill ourselves, boys, to get paid more money so we can help support our family. Same thing when you're playing footy or playing sport. But there's definitely a lot of talented Samoans out there, boys. Talented Samoans.
Heaps.
All right, man. Before we end it, I think we've given it a good whack. Is there anything else you want to bring up while we're on the podcast, boys? Hey, come on. This is your one opportunity. Is there anything I've missed? Anything you want to bring up on the podcast?
Want some beef pies? Gotta have more on the table.
Got to have more on the table. Yeah. Any feedback? Oops, any feedback?
Nah, man, shucks. This wants to be buying. Wow.
All right.
I think I know where I'm going on my way home.
Mobile, 2 for 5. All right. Hey, before we end, some quick fire questions, all right?
Yep.
We got to do the quick fire, right?
Yeah.
All right. And just, you know how it works. I just throw out some things and you answer really quickly what comes to mind.
It's getting set up.
Hey, can you remember you remember the nickname I gave you when we first had you were a weekly feature on the Fresh Breakfast? You remember that? All those years ago?
Oh, no.
Hey, you were a regular feature on the Fresh Breakfast.
Yeah.
Tell you, what was your name?
Oh, Big Fresh.
Oh, Big Fresh. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Big Fresh. that was your name back then, huh?
Man, those are good days.
Bro, a lot of people, commented on you. They asked you when you,
Really?
What happened to Big Fresh? Oh, man, he got married. Got married, he didn't invite me to his wedding. Actually, I want to ask you, Big Fresh. I want to ask you this. We can fit this in, but I want to ask you, bro, before we get into
quick
rapid fire.
Yeah.
Oh, so you went on a mission.
Correct.
Where'd you go on your mission?
Wellington.
Bro, is that actually a mission or is it just down the road?
No, it's a mission. Anywhere you go is a mission. Hey.
No, I'm just checking. Okay, you went to Wellington.
This guy said
you went to Wellington. Now, mission 2 years.
Yep, 2
How
years.
was that for you?
I loved it, man. It's the best 2 years of my life at that time. It was enjoyable, man. That's what I learned.
What do you do? I got to ask you. We'll both jump in on him.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Come, there's plenty of room.
What do you what do you do on a missionals?
Man, honestly, it's just when you have a strong testimony or something that you believe in, and you feel it's good, you need to share it with everyone else. To have the same, experiences as you. So that's what I did. I went in.
Is it true? Now, I don't know this because I'm, obviously you're a door knock.
Yeah.
Is it true though? Like you just do it for free? Like you've got a...
No, you pay.
Oh, you get paid?
No, I paid to go on a mission.
Oh, you got to pay to go on a mission?
Yeah. So at the time it was $12,000.
Oi.
So I paid $12,000, and you send it in with the application, and then so you get like an allowance, a weekly allowance. For me, it was $55 a week, and that's to.
Oi. What does that pay for?
Well, that's just to pay for your personal hygiene things if you need like new.
So they provide you.
So they pay
home?
for the accommodation, the power. You don't have to worry about any bills. But the $55 is just to, personal hygiene. If you need like new shirts or whatever, socks. But you pay to go.
Wow. What else was going to ask you? Say if you want to go on a mission, and I'm being serious. I'm just because I'm curious because I've never don't know how it all works. So if you don't have the $12,000, can the church sponsor you, or is there anything like that, or do you got to?
So it's like a afterpay.
Okay, yeah.
So
Easy
you're
pay,
able
easy
to
pay.
easy pay. So
Automatic
you
payment.
can. You just give what you can, and then your family and members of the ward can contribute, through their tithes and stuff, to help pay it off.
Does your church run like a bingo to help you go?
Nah, never fundraise for it. Never fundraise.
Hey, no $10 plates or anything like that.
No $10 plates or bonus raffles.
Lotto, $50 lotto.
No $50 lotto.
Man, you must have a rich church, man, rich ward.
Nah, man, it's just I worked really hard. Worked really hard to save up and
Nah, hey, sorry. Also, don't mean to sort of joke with you like that, but it must have been cool though. It must have been a good experience.
Good. And like I don't mind talking about it because that's where, like I said, that's where I learned how to speak Samoan. Was on my mission.
So obviously you must have struggled. Must have been hard.
So I got called to the Samoan mission. to Samoan program, which meant I served in Samoan wards, where the whole service is in Samoan. So I went from speaking predominantly English in my wards, well actually just English in my wards, to having to learn how to speak Samoan. And so normally you go to what we call a missionary training center, and in that training center you get taught the language for the 6 weeks. I had a few issues getting out on the mission because I was big fresh, and they were a bit worried. They're like, we don't want to put you on a bike and then heart attack on the bike. And so I had to lose a little bit of weight, and so my missionary training time was not language, so I got taught everything in English. So by the time I got out into the mission, I didn't know how to speak anything here, and I still got put into the Samoan ward. So like for the first 6 weeks, I could only speak English in the ward, and I remember introducing myself. I could only barely put any sentences together, and it was really hard because the ward members, one, didn't understand me, two, thought I was plastic.
Wow.
And then, so it was funny because the ward that I served in was actually, Ma'anum, his dad was the bishop.
Rock.
Yeah, rock. And, so he was the one who was Ma'a's dad, cover. He said to me, really changing point for me was because I was getting really depressed because I was like, man, I can't speak the language, And then he just said, did you come here to serve the Lord or to learn the language? And I was like,
that's awesome.
I was like, man, I'm here to serve the Lord.
That's
and then
awesome.
I just read the Bible, and the English Bible and the Samoan Bible, and within, I'd say 4 weeks, I knew how to hold a conversation. And then probably within 2 months, I could teach.
That's a great story, bro. It's a great story.
That's why I'm always, grateful that you brought that up, because that's where I learned the language.
Man, I like that though. You're here to learn language, or you're here to serve the Lord?
It's beautiful.
My man, 2 years?
2 years. I tried to extend because you're allowed to extend up to 2 months, but the mission president was like, nah, go home, carry on with your life.
Go home, big fresh.
Go home big fresh.
Go home big fresh and share your freshness up there.
Yeah. So
Huh?
okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, that's cool. Love that, bro. Love it. Just want to ask you too while we're talking about missions.
Yeah.
So, can you request when you apply for a mission to go? Say, if I wanted to go on a mission, I make a request. I pay my $12.5 grand. I go, can I go LA?
So
Can I go LA?
I don't know if the processes have changed much from when I was, when I applied for my mission. But you can put down, suggestions of places that you'd like to go. So normally they ask you what your education is like. Did you learn any languages? If you they do say, do you have a preference? And so, because my brother, I had taken Japanese at school, and my brother had served in Japan. I was like, Japan, love to go to Japan, and went to Wellington.
Japan,
I really wanted
Wellington.
to.
Escort Park.
To be honest, I really wanted to go to Samoa to serve my mission. And
Did you put that in there too?
yeah, and then was lucky enough to stay in New Zealand and serve in the Samoan program.
Japan. Arigato.
So they just so your application form goes to the States, and
Wow.
they pray about where you're going. Yeah,
Pray about or any money, money.
you get notified.
Nah, jokes.
Inky binky.
Hey, inky binky bonky. Nah, that's cool, man. Thanks for sharing that with us. That was good to know, because I've never asked you that.
No,
All
no,
the
you
times
haven't.
I've spoken, I've never asked you that, and not because of my arrogance. I just haven't had that opportunity. But I thought, I better ask, because you
I've got a
mentioned
couple
the
of
mission.
friends that you might want to, if you have any more questions.
Couple of friends who are currently on a mission.
Oh,
Send them around. Send them around. Send them around. I need to sharpen up my knowledge a little bit more. Sharpen up. Anyway, boys, time for some quick fire as we end episode 7 of the podcast today, Samoan Language Week. So, boys, just, couple of options. You pick one or the other, okay? Easy as.
Yeah.
All right. I won't ask you anything Samoan because we've already sort of asked all of that.
Up to you.
Maybe I'll go
Up to
something like, oka or kale.
Oka.
Oh, come on, boys, what's wrong with curry, man? Samoan curry's nice. I like it, man. I love it. Samoan curry I like, but, anyway. Sure, fellas, quick fire, eh? Kalo fai.
Kalo.
Whai.
Oh, I like that. See, all right. Mā moi pua'a.
Mā moi.
Pua'a.
Oi. You guys, man, are sharp, bro. Sharp. All right. Let's take it up another level,
Please.
Sunlight. Hey, Balmolive.
Sunlight.
Yeah, sunlight.
Sunlight. What's wrong with Balmolive, boys? Hey? It's funny. All Samoans say sunlight,
Doesn't matter what
Bro.
it's called.
Sunlight,
What's that?
All right. Colgate McLean's.
I'm a Colgate person. Yeah.
I say Colgate because I can't remember the one I use. Home brand.
Hey, I was just going to ask that. Home brand Pam's.
Pam's.
Home brand.
Home brand. What's your favourite Pam's product?
I think they're sweet corn.
Sweet corn.
Yeah.
What about Jules? Home brand.
Probably the tissues.
It's the tissue balls.
Like my snot nose. Well, what were you thinking? What were you thinking?
Nah, you know how you play the game when you pull the tissues out?
Nah.
Minute, 2
Don't
minutes.
play games with me.
Oh,
What were you thinking?
I don't know. But I forgot my next question. Hey, I just forgot my next question. Okay, anyway. Back on track. Countdown New World.
Countdown.
Pack and save.
We pack and save.
Yeah.
That wasn't an option, but I'll give you that. Just like any Samoan who's been on a mission, hey, give them 2 answers, they pick a third one, No. This guy. All right, McDonald's, KFC.
KFC.
Yeah, KFC.
Oh, that was. You took a bit of.
No, because I like McDonald's too, but
Yeah.
KFC.
KFC. What's your go-to at KFC?
Anything Thai combination, yeah.
Man, I haven't heard Thai combination in years. I have not heard that in years. That used to be the thing, man, in my 30s, eh? Oh, your Thai combination?
Thai combination, extra seasoning on the chips.
And you'd always get, we'll see what we can do.
Oh,
Hey?
did you?
Hey, blah, blah, blah. But now, I've just never heard that in so long. Thigh
Gotta
combination.
remember the thigh combination. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I just go, can I have 2 thighs? Oh, especially the one, there's not 8 wings on a chicken. Hey, there's not 8 wings on a chicken, mate. Hey,
sure
what's
is.
going on? Hey, what you'll go to at KFC Hills?
Probably Wicked Wings.
Yeah,
Wicked Wings. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah. I used to like that special they got running. What is it? Wicked Wings, 5 Wicked Wings, more chips, more drink, $12. I used to do that when I want to cheat. Just throw half the chips out the window and eat the other half, so I feel good. But don't worry about the calories in the Wicked Wings. It's about protein. Hey? But then I went there the other time about 3 weeks ago. They said, "Oh no, you got to order through the app." But I am on the app. Yeah, no, we don't do that anymore. So why is it on the app? Nah, because you got to order through the app. Oh, bro. I don't want to say anything bad because, who knows what they would have done to my chicken. Who knows what they've done to my burger. So, hey, we'll just keep it at that. All right, boys. Couple more questions.
Yep.
2-ply, 3-ply.
The tissues, The tissues.
Oh,
Nah, toilet
toilet
paper.
paper, toilet paper. 2-ply, 3-ply.
Shit, man, it's definitely 3-ply. Now the amount of stuff that you have to clean up, man, is heavy,
I like it.
heavy
3-ply.
duty. It's gotta be the heavy duty.
I like it.
3-ply, 5.
I don't even care as long as it's doing the job.
So let me ask you then. Hey, scrunch, wrap, or fold?
Oh my gosh, is that a question?
Yeah, scrunch, wrap, or fold?
It's definitely fold.
Fold?
Fold.
You'll be surprised how many people scrunch.
Scrunch.
It's amazing,
How does
bro.
that clean?
I don't know, but apparently when they show you, it's a bit like how you fellas scrunched your
Like this.
scrunch it. Yeah. Can you imagine how much? Yeah, I just don't.
Wow, I don't know. That's
I don't know, man. A lot of people scrunch though.
yeah.
Hey?
I could. My question is, how many folds?
One. Well, if it's 3-ply,
3-ply. See, that's why.
see if it's 3-ply, you can't go too thick, but you can't go too thin.
Yeah.
Because if you go too thick, you're just wasting toilet paper.
But if you get too thin,
Hey, if you get too thin,
But
some
not
3-ply in your eye.
there's some peanut butter.
Hey, here's another one, boys. Hey, behind or underneath? Because you'll be surprised.
What do you mean, like
Behind or underneath?
after you?
Elders first.
This is your fella's quick fire.
Yeah,
Hey,
hey, it's quick
Behind
fire.
or
come
underneath?
on. Behind or underneath? Nah, yeah, me, it depends on what body part I've worked out during the day. Hey. So if I work out my chest and it's really sore, behind is easy. Nice. That's standard,
yo.
behind.
But if
But if I've worked lower back and, done some heavy deadlifts, it's like, but tender there.
Underneath.
Let's go underneath.
I'm just trying to.
And then
Do you leave anything behind?
the other option, straight Kaelin.
You got one of those showers stick on.
It's a bidet.
Tell him, my man. Hey, Mr. Brown, what are you, behind or underneath?
Because I follow the same, gym program as Mr. Tasi, so I'm the same.
All right.
Depends on what body part
What
I'm
body
working
part?
that day. Yeah, could be my mouth, could be, my arms, whatever day it is at the gym. It depends on how it goes at the.
I like it. All right, boys.
These are good questions, man. Any more? Yeah. Fire
Fantastic
away,
questions,
fire
eh?
away.
Hey, they're awesome quick fire
That
questions.
boy good. That boy good.
Last one, boys. Last one, okay? Last one for the podcast, Samoan Language Week, episode 7. All right, boys. It's been awesome having you here today.
Thank you for having us.
No, just loved it. But, last one, rapid quick fire. Pa'u or no pa'u?
Let's answer this.
I told you boys I'm the best, man. I'm the best,
The
man.
ugliest question ever.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is episode 7 of the podcast. Boys, hey, it's okay. It's all good.
I hope I have a job after this.
Love you, Mum. Love you, Mum. Love you, Mum. Sorry, Mum. Love you. You always got to remember your mum when you ask questions like that. You know, love you, Mum. Love you. My mother brought me up right, but you know, it's that New Zealand born in me. Just got to ask. Hey.
Did you do that? Yeah, love.
Did you have to go and sit in the sea?
Tell us the middle of winter. How come we get you to
You know what?
I love it, boys. I love it. Brothers, hey, Uzos, thank you, man. Thank you for your thank you for your time, man. Okay, this Samoan Language Week. It's been awesome having you still on the program. Sometimes the soul just needs a good laugh, huh?
Yeah.
And that's one thing our people are really good at. Is you know, we're good at just having a laugh because laughing is good for the soul. So I feel good today, boys.
Thank you.
You make me feel good today, boys. So thank you for coming on, boys. And something you want to say to all your fans before we finish?
I just want to say shout out to Ponsonby Pies. Thank you for the sponsorship and not to you and the team here at Rokau Vibes, man, doing an amazing job. Thank you very much.
Shout out, appreciate it, Mr. Brown.
No, thanks at all. Shout out to you guys for having us here at Rokau Vibes, Ponsonby Pies, Coca-Cola.
Love it. Boys, love having you guys in the studios. Thank you so much for your for your Samoanness this Samoan Language Week 2023. And that is us, episode 7 for the podcast for Samoan Language Week 2023. I hope you're enjoying this week's celebrations as we do all sorts of different things around our community. Before I end, quick shout out and a quick love to the Polava family. Last week, we lost one of the Usos brothers that are very close to us, Stewie Polava. So to all the Polava family, thinking of you, heaps of love coming your way. And to our Uso Stewie, rest in love, my brother. We'll catch you next time on the podcast. This is For Mai Fresh.
Podcast. Podcast. Podcast, Dr. Fresh.